Welcome back to the Disc Golf Show, everybody. My name is Nick. This is season 2026, episode 3. As always, this show is brought to you in part by our sponsors, the first being our local pro shop, Final Nine Sports. If you are in the Northern California, Sacramento area, they have 2 locations. You can find them in Orangevale and Rocklin. And as always, go support your local pro shop wherever you may be. However, if you are unable to find what you're looking for at your pro shop, we have a remedy, and that is Disc Golf Deals USA. So if you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can get 10% off of your entire order, though some exclusions do apply. But go save that money. As always, you know we like to start off with good news, and this is some great news. So big shout out to the McBeths. Hannah and Paul have announced that they are having baby number 2, and that baby is due in July. So we wish nothing but the best for them, and we look forward to getting more information on that as it nears. Also, shout out to some of the European Finnish players. The Finnish Frisbee Golf Association has announced some of their awards, and those being Silva Saarinen for Athlete of the Year, Hannele Maatta for Masters Player of the Year, Iida Lehtomaki for Breakthrough Player of the Year, and Eetu Tuominen for Junior of the Year. So shout out to those people who got those awards from the Finnish Frisbee Golf Association. We are going to run through some, again, we're kind of finishing up with the contract changes and extensions and cancellations or ending of contracts, but they're still going on, because though there are some events like the ones down in the Tour Down Under, the DGPT has yet to start. So some of those, there are a couple that are yet to have been announced, but we'll run through these really quick here for you guys as always. As for new contracts, we do have Mason Ford announcing he's joining the Cardinal Disc Golf Company, and I believe they do clothing. So shout out to him for that. Braden Sides signed a 1-year contract with Castaplast. Chris Clemens actually went back to Dynamic Discs for 2026. Julia Fors. You may not know this name, but you will in the future. Again, it's a younger player, 13-year-old, who is the 2025 Swedish Nationals FPO champ from Sweden, signed a 1-year contract with Latitude 64. Shout out to her. MVP has announced some newer contracts, and that being Iida Emile Nesse, Calvin Longquist, and Silas Schultz. So Silas has moved over to MVP. Now there's one other person, as you've probably seen on their social media. They posted a picture of 4 silhouettes, and it looks like the 4th one strongly resembles Aaron Gossage, but I think that announcement is coming tomorrow. I know today was the Silas Schultz announcement. So we will see who that 4th person is, and we will let you know next show. Another teaser, well, actually, it's more of a leaked photo in relation to that, is that there was a picture of Aaron Gossage out at a course, and it looks like, not 100%, because it looks like there's more than just that, but it looks like there were some MVP discs in the bag that was next to him in that picture. So supports the rumors, but again, confirmation is yet to come. We have a bunch of contract extensions that were announced, a lot of those being from Discraft, and we'll run through those. Chris Dickerson got a 3-year extension, Paige Pierce a 2-year extension, Valerie Mondahano a 1-year extension, Ezra Aderhold 2 years, Holland Handley 2 years, Missy Gannon 2 years, Adam Hammis got a single-year extension, and Hannah Wynn was bumped to the elite team for 2026, which is awesome to see. And also, Ryan Mon, who is the 2024 AM USDGC and AM Worlds champ, stays with Discraft for 2026. Also continuing and not finishing out, but continuing with their contracts that is currently in place. We have McBeth, AB, Anthony Barella, Ezra Robinson, and Ricky Wysocki are obviously staying with Discraft with their continuing contract. We have a few others for the extensions, that being Casey White sticking with Discmania. I think they said it's his 7th year. Zach Melton stays with Dynamic Discs, and Erica Stinchcomb sticks with Infinite Discs. We didn't have necessarily any parting ways news, but we did have a couple other extra things here. We do know that Gannon Burr's contract still goes through 2026, so that will be a big one moving into 2027 as to if he'll re-up with Discmania or if he will be looking elsewhere. But again, that's all next year, so we ain't got to worry about that right now. But he did also announce that he's staying with the Cardinal Disc Golf clothing company as well, so shout out to him again. Discraft did announce their tour teams, so I wanted to run through those really quick. For the Europeans, we have Daniel Davidson, Nestri Tukkanen, and Cynthia Klisberga. Hopefully I didn't slaughter that. And USA, Addison Woodward, Chandler Fry, Cynthia Ricciardi, Eden Fornoff, Hayden Carroll, Kelly Foster, Lexi Mark, Daniel Polk, Colton Montgomery, and Colton also has a deal with Resistance Discs, Evan Smith, and Kevin Kiefer. So those are all the contract news items. And then we have a couple schedules that were posted, one being from Casey White. He did state that he's not actually going to be going to Europe this year because he will be getting married and he wants to stick around for to be able to enjoy everything that comes with that leading up to it. So shout out to him and his upcoming nuptials. Also, schedule-wise, we have Simon Lizotte posted his schedule for the 2026 season as of now. He does have a couple events overseas. I believe it was Ale and Swedish Open, but currently he is not planning on attending the European Open. So, he has family stuff to deal with and he wants to kind of chill out a little bit for this year. So, we hope, as always, nothing but the best for Simon. More announcements. PAF and Disc Golf Metrix announced a partnership for the new season in Estonia and across Europe. If you don't remember or haven't heard, PAF is a licensed gambling company in Estonia. They've supported or been involved with disc golf in the past. That just a little history on them. They were founded in 1966 in Åland. They are again, a licensed gambling company in Estonia. They've been operating in Estonia for 15 years. They are owned by the Åland local government, and all profits earned are directed back into society from PAF. They support sports, culture, and social initiatives. So shout out to them for continuing to be involved and maybe possibly hopefully getting more involved. On a not so great note, you may have heard something about this. The owner of Handeye Discs, they were it's not a manufacturer or anything like that, but it's a branding company that was or is owned by House of Discs. Crispin was the owner. He went on social media and kind of got some stuff off his chest. Now, again, when we get any of this type of information, this is obviously coming from the person involved, and it's whatever experience they had with them. Obviously, this is not going to be across the board because we see athletes going back and sticking with some of the House of Discs companies that are owned by House of Discs. But he did kind of state how he had been taken advantage of there early on. One of his quotes was, "Everyone who works in Emporia from the leadership to warehouse is in fear of losing their job every day." That is not a good thing to hear. There was a lot of rumors going on with House of Discs and who was involved and who initially was the owners of that conglomerate and who ended up trying to take over or bring back disc golf ownership to that. But he he didn't hold back in his opinions. He was extremely unhappy in his post. You can go check him out and read more up on that. We don't want to say things that aren't 100% true, but we're just relaying this information to you. So he did state that there are issues even with Disc Golf Valley and the funds that are, how they're allocated there. And he stated that the only thing keeping the doors open is the Walmart deal that they have with House of Discs. So we hope that turns around. We hope this is, ultimately we hope Kristen is doing well and is able to, I don't know, turn things around for him personally and business-wise, because they've been involved in disc golf for a long time with Handeye, and it's those smaller businesses that keep a lot of the a lot of the jobs open for people and creating jobs. Obviously, you have these larger companies that come in and try to invest. A lot of times, these larger companies are looking for a way to just make money. That's understandable. They're a big business, but it's kind of not the greatest for the companies themselves and the smaller businesses that kind of get absorbed or taken over. So if we learn some more on that, maybe we can talk to Crispin in the future, maybe on some of our other socials, and we'll let you know about that as time proceeds. We had an announcement of a new highest rated lefty of all time, and that going to Anthony Anselmo. He became the highest rated lefty at 1,039 rated. And that's up there for lefties. There are not that many lefties, pro lefties in the disc golf world at the pro level. And hopefully we see more from him. Big shout out to Climo Disc Golf. His brand just turned a year old recently. So, you know, if you haven't checked them out, go ahead and do so. Ken Climo has his own brand. It is backed by Discraft, so you'll see, I'm sure, a lot of similarities in the plastics there. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. A really cool thing that I did want to throw in here is the Estonians played disc golf again, because they did it before, at the T1 shopping mall. And I think there were around 250 disc golfers who did this. And the only reason why I want to say this, or that I included this, is that I'd love to see more things like this, exhibitions or unique events like this, kind of like urban disc golf and events like that. But it's just cool to see these unusual type events to get disc golf a little more visibility. And yeah, I just thought it was a cool little item that I wanted to notate in here. Announcement from MVP. Steve Dodge did tease about there possibly being an AM event connected to the MVP Open. So we will hopefully get some more news on that. I think that's more of that stuff's going to be announced at Disc East, which we'll let you know when that's happening. It should be coming up shortly here later this week. Announcement for the winners of the Australasian Open that recently just took place this last weekend. And those winners being Kat Murch and Eli Swanson. So shout out to them at that second event down there that's being held in that tour. Vesey was announced as the presenting sponsor for the 2026 PDJ Champions Cup, which is, again, we know as that being a major. That's also being held April 9th to 12th at New London this year. So that's cool. And then the last announcement really is Paul McBeth Foundation announced their first project for this 2026 season, and that is Project 6.1, and that will be in the Dominican Republic. It's planned for spring of 2026 for install. There's actually 3 courses, kind of small, but courses. A 9-hole course in Parque Central de Santiago, a 9-hole at Universidad ISA near student housing, and then a 3-hole introductory course at the university entrance. So those are cool. 9 holes are very underrated courses. They are much better for the beginner because they're usually smaller, shorter courses, and they're a little easier to get the idea and play a quicker round for those who are getting introduced to the sport. So it is good to see those type of courses being put in by the Paul McBeth Foundation. They are working with the Blue Missions, and that is a company that provides safe drinking water throughout the country in Dominican Republic. And this design will be led by Chainlink Disc Golf, and that is a Canadian disc golf company. So shout out to all those involved in this new project 6.1 from the Paul McBeth Foundation. Before we move on to the disc golf question of the episode, do me a favor, hit that subscribe. Again, I do appreciate it. It really does help. It's just a simple little press of the button. You can hit like, you can share, you can do the notifications if you want to, but go ahead and hit that subscribe, and all the views do help. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, guys, moving on to the question of the episode. So this one is kind of spurred by a post that I saw, and that being a post where it was a disc golf basket with kind of a unique way of directional putting for said basket. The question is, does putting need to be more difficult at that pro level? We do know once they're inside circle one, it's very, very high likely that they're making those putts, and they're very good at putting it inside circle one. So putting, does it need to be made even more difficult? And in relation to that post, it was this post where the basket was kind of had a shield on one section or one quarter to a third of the basket. So that way the idea is that you are forced to have a specific side of the basket in which you want to lay up to. I don't know. Honestly, the picture of it was not a fan of how it was done, but obviously this is a early stage of the suggestion and of the idea. I'm sure there's ways that it could be made to look better, but what do you think? Let me know down below. Do you think putting, at least at the pro level, needs to be made more difficult? All right, guys, we are at Gear and Equipment. This segment is brought to you by Disc Golf Deals. Again, go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. Save 10% off. Bags, baskets, carts, discs. There are a few exclusions that do apply. Usually they're new molds, new releases, and such. But go get that 10% off. Save your money. Approved discs. There were 2 discs that were approved this last week, and that being Pro Discus with the Legion and Discraft with the Sled, also known as DIS-0126-P. Interpret that how you want, but Discraft Sled. Also in releases, upcoming releases or recent, Latitude 64 has been teasing / posting about their Project Grip molds. So keep an eye out on those new plastics that they're coming out with. And then also just recently, Prodigy, specifically Luke Humphreys and Prodigy, have made an announcement for their P Model S mold. It will now be known moving forward, and I think starting at Disc East again in the video, you can check it on their YouTube channel. It will be known as the Good Boy. So P Model S will be known as the Good Boy, and that is Luke Humphreys' signature mold, and it is in honor of Hogan. If you don't know who Hogan is a big part of Luke Humphreys' past and life, as it was his dog that was very well known across the community. Involved in a lot of videos that he'd been putting on with the skins matches and such, but his dog recently passed this last year. My heart goes out to him because when my dog passed, it was rough, man. It was not an easy thing to go through, especially when you raise a dog from a puppy all the way through. And we got nothing but love for Hogan and Luke Humphreys, and we hope he has some comfort and positivity moving forward, especially with this kind of way to remember Hogan. Again, P Model S from Prodigy will now be known as the Good Boy. Last but not least, the item you use most on the course is your shoes. And those 2 companies, again, we mentioned them earlier as a presenting sponsor. is Vessi shoes and also Idio Sports. So there are two different styles of shoes. So everybody has their particular taste in shoes or clothing. And yeah, go check them out. They are definitely different. Both waterproof, lightweight shoes. One more of a, Idio is more of like a zero style shoe, not totally zero, but not totally flat footed, but closer to that. And they both have low tops, high tops, so go check those out, and we'll have the links down below also. Again, upcoming events now. The first one is coming up later this week, is January 24th to 25th, or this weekend, I should say, is Disc East in Marlborough, Massachusetts. So if you're out that way, go to that expo. That's been going on for the past few years now. And then February 27th to March 1st is the first Disc Golf Pro Tour event, the 2026 Supreme Flight Open in Brooksville, Florida. In between that and the second event of the Pro Tour, March 7th to 8th, you're going to have Disc South, and that'll be held at a location in Texas. So I'm seeing that there'll probably be in the future. My guess is a Disc West, and so on and so forth. But we will see. March 13th to 15th, last but not least for these events that I'm notating here, is again an exciting one for me because it's a new location, the 2026 DGPT Big Easy Open in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. I'm really excited about seeing that venue. All right, let's move on to the mailbag, guys. Product-wise, I really don't have anything this episode. I mean, outside of maybe a disc retriever, the little suction cup disc retriever, those things are great. I don't know. Let me know. Is there something product-wise you'd like me to highlight? Because I'm always up for new products. Oh, one thing I can say, if you have the need for storage or display stuff, go check out Touch Disc Golf. They have amazing, like more clean, minimalistic style products. So Touch Disc Golf, go check them out. Videos that we want to suggest to you that I'd like to suggest. One being Catch with Brian Earhart. This is the one where he takes Frisbee, goes and plays catch with somebody in interviews while they're throwing the disc back and forth. This last episode was an episode highlighting Anthony Barella, so go check that out. We like you get to learn a little bit more about the person's personality and history and all that good stuff. Go check that out. The link will be down below on the Jomez YouTube channel. And then kind of outside of this, I kind of want to start adding in something to watch that's outside disc golf. So my suggestion this time, we'll see if this continues or if I decide to do this, is I just finished up a TV show called Black Rabbit on Netflix. Yeah. If you're interested, go check it out, Black Rabbit. All right, guys, this brings us to the end of the episode. As always, we do like to give you ways to save money, and we do still have a few ways to do so. If you're looking for a bag, you can go to Upper Park Disc Golf. Go check out their bags. If you use code Disc Golf Show, you can save some money there. And then big thanks out to Disc Golf Deals USA. Again, if you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/Disc Golf Show, save 10% off of your entire order. Get your baskets, that can add up to some good money saved. Carts, bags, accessories, discs, anything and everything. discgolfdealsusa.com/Disc Golf Show. And then last but not least, as always, thank you to our local pro shop, Final 9. If you are in the Northern California, Sacramento area, you can find them at their two locations, one being in Orangevale and one in Rocklin. So again, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for your support. Big favor, just hit that subscribe button, like, share, notifications if you want. Any of that, all that does help. And yeah, thank you so much. And I'll see you next week.